Hello YouTube, welcome to Sunday in the shop. Look at the mess, but it's a happy mess. Oh, what a day. We're trying to get rain and thunderstorms and it just keeps missing us. It's just a shame. We had one a while back, 60-mile-an-hour winds, and we did get over an inch of rain, but I didn't sleep very well last night. We had 45, 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts and very few raindrops, but right now it's 70 degrees, about 70% humidity, and 60-some% dew point, so it is nasty out there as far as air quality and humidity, but it's so windy you don't dare go outside. So Friday I didn't do anything. Thursday is when I did my yard work. Friday, today is Saturday, so today would be the 23rd? Correct me if I'm wrong. I know Thursday was the 21st. So, you can't get out there at my age of 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts and knock you over right to the ground. I got my little golf ball screwdriver up there so you get that. So it's a happy mess. And I like that. The chuck key I made, if you haven't seen that video, it's got a golf ball. I keep it in top of the drill press, but let's see what we can get into. We do have the heater on low down here. That one we turn it on and turn it off within 5 minutes, and now it's hot in here. It didn't take. I'm wearing shorts and t-shirt, so this is something else. Shorts and t-shirt weather in the shop. This is unbelievable after the cold winter I went through. So let's take a break. I'm looking at the timer. I've yacked for 2 minutes. Let's think of something to work on or something to build. Okay, let's show you our finished quarter that we made. Okay, here's one of the newer quarters, right? Now this is paper thin. Let me get a pointing tool here. Anything for a pointing tool instead of my big old dirty fingers. You can't keep your fingernails clean when you do hobby stuff like that. And I just cleaned them last night. It does stick up a little bit. Excuse the epoxy. It does stick up a little bit. I just gave up glued together. I had this so thin that you could almost bend it with your fingers. And the polish got there was black, and I'm good because you always go too far, and you can see the copper. So I'd recommend using a lathe to do this, to hollow this out. This is the hardest part I've never figured out. I thought it maybe like with, when you grind stones, you have that Dodge stick with that real hard wax you melt, and melt it on there, and stick it in the lathe. It wouldn't have to be centered too well, too good, see proper words. It wouldn't have to be too good centered, but you could keep lathing this off, make it thinner and thinner on the other side, on a slow speed, because it's soft metal, it's just copper. And I never did try that. I was going to order some of that stuff. That's from doing the epoxy work the other day. But anyway, tell you a short story. I want to tell you, don't quote me, I could be wrong. I think it's pronounced Fitzy's Fabrications. I'll give him a plug. The old guy's in his 50s. He lives in Newfoundland, Canada. And way back in the old days, they would just take car bodies and dump them out in the forest, because there's a lot of state forest land, I guess, which we'd call state, like here, not public land. And he has a couple of videos where he goes out and shows these cars rotting in the forest. And when I was a kid in my hometown, you could take the river, and there's only 2 ways to get there, the river or farm fields. We'd go fishing places. And I'm not kidding you, there's Model A frames up on top of junk cars, to where they're not buried in the dirt. And I seen it in the 80s. I took a boat ride just for maybe 5 miles, and I know I've seen several Model A frames, like Model T frames. There's like a couple beaches where we'd go fishing, and you'd pull up a car piston and a rod that laid there, a car part. So that stuff is still out there in places. I'm trying to think of that. When I was a kid, there was a creek, okay, outside my hometown. And I can't tell you what year Ford it was. It was a round radio. So the radio was round, like the round gauges, like a Ford. Like, say, say a 60s Ford truck without round speedometer is about that size of a radio. And I probably spent an hour with a pair of pliers, screwdrivers, and stuff getting that out. Well, think about now with all these cordless tools, 4.5-inch grinder. Man, but I'd be scrapping. I watched that guy walk to the forest with all kinds of metal for recycling and doing arts and crafts. And one thing I remember was a real rotten tailgate. It was a Mercury tailgate laying on the ground. It was so rotten you'd have to cut around real carefully. I would take the Mercury part out of it and then glue it to a piece of wood and repaint it for a wall plaque. So I don't like adding links to description, links to channels and stuff without asking the person, but I'm sure that's what it is. It's like Fitzy's. Once you find it, you'll find it. He makes custom cars. He's working on his latest video is some old car where he's putting taillights out of a Corvette in the back. So he's redoing the whole back fins. You know, they had them rounded over fins. Like say the fin went like this down the back and then it went around like that. The long, thin Corvette taillights he's fitting in it. So I'll at least give him a plug if you can find it. If you like stuff like that. Okay, let's see what else we can get into here. Oh, I had to laugh about this when I was making the chuck key for my drill. This is hand sanitizer. It just smells so sweet and so good. And it actually does moisturize. You ever use that stuff so much your hands dry and crack? This is good to me. So I've used, it was probably half a bottle. I've used quite a bit of it. Man, it is funny. Not promoting any products on my videos. The secret is, you know, my opinion is they're making too many products like this. And you wonder if it really isn't any good, it's just a selling thing. But I will say, this stuff is good. What's in it? 63% alcohol. Yeah, it's flammable. Believe me, I've lit it up. This stuff is great for, you can pause it if you want. This stuff is great for starting little fires on my stove. I don't promote doing that, but I'll do it once in front of you here. And kids, don't be doing this at home. I'll show you how flammable this stuff is, so just for safety reasons. Okay, like I said, disclaimer, I use this for fire starting, so beware, don't be doing this stuff, kids. See how invisible that is? You can tell it's on fire, look at it. Let me shut my light off. See that? You talk about smell sweet. Oh boy, you can use that for an air freshener in here. I said, you could see I had to turn the light off to see it. It leaves a white scum, stuff that don't burn. Like that, you can lay that down, that could still be on fire. Danger, danger. But great for fire starting, like my little stoves, because it doesn't light up, you know, flare up, boom, blow out like gasoline or something, you know. But there you go. Fire starting with hand sanitizer. There's hundreds of videos on it. I have other bottles, other brands, but I lit this up that it smells so sweet that once in a while I put some on the bottom of a pop can. See? That's almost like a lotion. See when the alcohol's gone? That's what I wanted to show you. It's almost like hand lotion there. See that? That's why it keeps your hands from drying out. So I've been using it when I work out or to clean my hands off. And if you wear rubber gloves all the time, you know what it's like. Oh, your hands can get so dry or get itchy from that latex or whatever they're made from. So there you go. You know, if you put lotion on your hands, right? And I got permanent dirt. Look, see that? It won't come out of my skin because it's so old and dry. If you put hand lotion on your hands and put them gloves on before you go to work, after having them gloves on for an hour, it's like a spa beauty treatment for your hands. That lotion's not going to dry out real fast. It will soak in your skin. So there's a tip for you. I use a brand that says it has like micro spears, Vaseline and petroleum jelly in it. That stuff will soak in. I cannot even tell you the brand name right now. It could be Vaseline brand, but there, helpful tips there. Your hands are getting dry all the time. We all know what these cheapy gloves are like. You get them things on, your hands will be itching by the end of the day. So there we go. Let's stop thinking something else. Boy, I'm gonna be this might be just a helpful hints and tips Sunday video. Okay, I mentioned this video today. If you put these in front of the heater, I don't know if you do, but I do. A lot of times I'll blow my glove up. You know, you put air in it first. If you put these in front of the heater and warm them up, all right, and while you're putting them on, and say, get your other hand way down there like to the palm and grab a bunch of that glove and pull it on your fingers. You will get these gloves on here. See how good they're on. See, work on small stuff. So there's another tip I'll put in here again. You will get these to fit pretty good. And these are El Cheapos. I have no idea what the brand is. I have people give me supplies and stuff because they know I'm poor and I can't afford to run Harbor Freight and pay $17 for a box of gloves. There you go. How do you get them things on skin tight? Warm. Maybe stick your hands under, once they're on, put them under a warm faucet or something, hot water, and just pull them. So you got to get your hand down in there and get a handful of gloves. Don't pull back on the waistband. They'll just rip you. Get your hand. So if I can show you on camera. Get your hand way down. See how I'm way back in here? See that? Way down in there to pull them on. I think you know what I mean. I should use a tripod. I just don't like getting it out. Okay, another tips and tricks. I have one that's 3 inches. This could have been on the barbecue I was making modifications to or something. Put holes. So that's 1/4 inch. That's probably a 3/4 inch outside diameter. With your hole saw. See how nice washers these make? Beware, when you cut that stuff out of steel, that's razor sharp right there. What I did was put a bolt through these and ground them on the belt sander or something. Don't go just sticking on the shaft of this like that and go spinning it on there. Nope, don't be doing that. You'll wish you never did that. That thing will fly over. But look at that. Ain't that a nice washer? Aluminum washer. See the edge? And you can make them any size you want. I need to go to this big junkyard. It's where all the little junkyard guys go to. Okay? It's a major junkyard that ships steel overseas. It's the kind with the big claw and the crusher. And I need to go there because years ago I went there and I knew the owner. The owner was a millionaire. So I knew him when I was a kid. I'd go with the neighbor. He junked cars, okay? So I met his son. This was probably back in towards the late 90s. I took some aluminum to him. Oh, it was quite a bunch. It was probably like $50 with aluminum transmission casings and other stuff. And we reminisced about when I was a kid, we'd bring like lawnmower engines we'd strip. And there'd be a little metal piece up in the points. There's a little metal plug on the top of the block. We'd forget it. Or when you put the case on the bottom of a Briggs & Stratton lawnmower, the sump pan, there'd be little metal pins. And we'd be out there sitting on the curb, pounding that pin out with a punch so we get clean aluminum price. So, but he knew we were pretty good. Most of the time we were kids, and I admire that. In fact, my load, when I brought it in, I told him, if you find a piece of metal and you have that piece for free. And he told the guy, he goes, unload the truck and just throw it on the scale. They had like a small scale on the floor. It's built into the floor like a square. He remembered that. I go, you can find a steel pin in that transmission case. You can have it. He told me, the guy looked at him. He goes, just throw it in the pile with it. So he knew that I learned that stuff when I was a kid. But that, free washers. They were full of everything. Reminiscent stories, free washers. Yeah, I got a big 3-inch one somewhere. Nice supply. I mean, you can just sit there all day long and cut them out of the whole saw of aluminum. Aluminum's a lot easier to cut than steel. So I think that's a pretty, ain't that nice? This should have been an ink pen. This should have been. Scout Crafter's been making pins and he puts the thing where your fingers go up like this. You know, And this is kind of, it's like a rubber plastic. So little screws, I mean, you can really get that thing spinning in your hand. I mean, you can. Okay, we got to pause. Our battery symbol is flashing. Let's switch batteries. Okay, another tip. When I switch my batteries, right, in my camera, and I'm out of working, I don't know if I can get this closed in one hand, but I always leave the zipper down about that far. So when I get in the house, my zipper's down. That means this battery needs charged. You know, and in here I got one of them SD cards that has the micro one that fits in it. And I found a thing the other day that goes in the USB port that you can put the regular SD card in. And then, or I don't know if there's a slot for the micro card. But here's where the one where you put the micro card inside the SD card. Because I had that Google laptop and it only took the micro card or USB. So I found that thing in the box. It's probably $25. I found it setting off in a little bit, few little things besides my chair, you know, in the living room. I got a little pile of different odds and ends sitting there, you know. In fact, it's actually a chair I used to have my computer games, so it's down on the little chair, so it's kind of hid. It's like, wow, this is 20, 30 bucks. But, yep, there's a hint. I've been using this for a long time. I made a video on this. I put extra foam in here. You know, you hate fumbling with one hand. See that piece right there? That goes in the lid. Because down in here, that's hard. And there's a piece of plastic in there. And that's where I put the glass, you know, the back of the camera. You know what I mean? The back. The viewing screen. And up here is the lens. So it always goes against that. Of course, you got your string all the time. You're cramming it in there, but like I said, I don't get paid to show any products. But my other camera that took the AA batteries has a black. It is so greasy. It has so much grease in there. It looks like them greasy, shiny old blue jeans that people buy that gross-looking, old, worn-down-looking blue jeans. You ever hear the song, "Pants are so old they shine"? Bottle of wine for. Don't start me singing. That's copyright violation. You know the song if you're old as me. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine. When you get, let me get sober. Anyway, let's not talk about drinking. Oh, talking about drinking. Coffee. I make it half as strong, right? And then I put like 3 big old little teaspoonfuls of cocoa powder in there. So I got cocoa coffee today, so I'm on a roll. Way too much sugar. You know, these things are just as good as them big name cups. This thing will keep coffee hot for half a day. So, there's a shameless plug. Like I was saying, I don't even monetize these videos. Heck, let's go to another product, and this product can suck. This is gel super glue. Now, if you do this just right, use this glue, okay? This is the tip. When you use this glue, you squeeze it right. Now, tip it up first, let off it. It'll suck the glue back down in there, then put the lid on. Once in a while, I'll have some acetone ready. Now, super glue, I used to tip it up as fast as I could, and I wiped the tip off with acetone, and I put the cap on, the Harbor Freight stuff, and I'd have it on the shelf for like a month. And I just used this a couple days ago, but I really don't like this. It was given to me. Person didn't like it. It's the gel control. But that's what I glued my quarter inside there with. So, I said, while you still got pressure and squeeze, right? Go like this, let off, and it'll suck the stuff back in it. That's the trick. The same with my epoxy bottles. I'll tip it up, and then I'll let off it, and it'll suck it back down in the spout. Of course, that stuff has to be mixed to harden. So, maybe we'll go off and talk about that stuff. Sure, why not? People are probably wondering. Hobby Lobby. This is 13 bucks. But, you know how long it lasts? I tell people, you'll always see me having less hardener in the bottle. I don't know if you can see it. You should always have less hardener in the bottle than you do the stuff on the left. See, hardener? I always add a little extra hardener. Now, these get scummy. See how they are? and I'm out of acetone and alcohol, or alcohol wipes even weren't there. Where's your pointer? And one of the caps is cracked. But I'll do that. When I'm done with the epoxy, when I still got the bottle squeeze, and you ever have trouble with it cold out, put this up, if you're going to use this, put this upside down in the shop, right? So it's ready to go. See it running down. But what I do is when I've got it squeezed, I'll squeeze out a little drop, I'll tip it up, then I'll let off the bottle. And it sucks it back down in the spout. I think you know what I mean. And I like using this. Some people don't like using it that fast. I do, because I'm so used to just putting stuff together right. I want to get hardened up so it'll work. I'm trying to think of something I use it on that I could show you. You can actually see that besides trying to look through them screwdriver handles. But you know I've probably showed you on knife scales and stuff before. That stuff will get rock hard. I mean, after it sets for a day, it's harder than plastic to grind. So it's a lot better than using JB Weld waiting 24 hours to dry. I have nothing against JB Weld, but boy, you better have like 24 hours before you start grinding and sanding on it. Another product, don't pass it up. I was getting out of yellow one made out of cloth. This is dressmaker's tape. This is plastic, and it's cheap and it's junk. See why it's rolled up? Because I'd throw it in the drawer and wad it up. Don't do that. Take better care of your stuff. I held this in front of the heater on high, and I had it stretched and warmed and didn't, well, you don't want to stretch it. But say you measure around a pipe like a stove pipe. You want to know the circumference? This is what you use. You wrap this around it. So I want to show you, that's the best way to store it, hang it on a nail. Put a nail up on the wall in your shop, okay, somewhere. So when you look up, you see it. So if you're looking for it, you're bound to see it up on the wall of tools there. That is the best way I can show you how to store that with a rubber band. If you don't know what one of these are, it's dressmaker's tape or whatever. They used to be yellow, made out of cloth. This is plastic. I'm not going to complain. It does the job. So there's another quick tip. We're going to take a little break. We'll review what we've videoed so far, relax in the chair, and then we'll come back with something else. Okay, remember this cordless thing I bought? Didn't have the collet on it or nothing? Here's what I use. See these cheap eye drops? There's a safety cap on here, okay? If you pry it off, you're going to have a cap underneath it like that. So that's what I modified as one of these. And I have a spare one down in here. See down in there? So if I ever have to make another one. And I did take the collet out of this the other day and thread this piece on there, so I got more threads. But that just works so good, okay? And here's another tip that I did. I may have to pause here. Just bear with me. Let's see if I can do this. Nope, I'm going to have to pause. I'll be right back. Okay. I want to show you. See how long far this sticks out? And make sure it's tapped in all the way. This causes this to vibrate and shake, and I don't need it out that far. See the ones that are cut off? I had some short ones. See in there? That's a short one. Let me pause and put a short one in here and show you what it looks like. Okay, here's a short one. And that's all I need. This thing's kind of neat. For people who never seen the video on it. See, it started on high, it went to low. Medium, high, and off. Starts on high, goes to low after 2 seconds. There's medium, and that's what I usually use, because high is just the extreme. And this is spinning faster than what you think. I hate to do it against the desk, but that's high, right? There's low. And we'll go to medium. Medium's a little better because high is just And on high, they start banging and get out of balance when they're long. So I have been using high on some stuff. These are shorter. Scratching my table up. They don't have any more of these. But there's plenty of them out there. It does not matter what brand. I mean, oh, I seen these the other day. I swear you get three of these packs now for $12. When I swore I went out to these average about $10 for a kit of these. And these are the ones, they are not 3mm or 8. They are this super skinny size. Oh, and I also made another call for this so I can put the bigger ones in here, which I'll never polish. But I'm trying to think of my corded one, this one. I swear I had to make a call to put these 3mm or whatever 8". And I used just to do spinning with this spinning and stuck a diamond bit in there and kind of wallered it out. I call these the mop string. Is this thing turned on? This has been so handy for buffing. Let's see if I can do this without dropping it. Well, that was a trick. I can run this like this. When I first put polish on something, this polish will have it real low and I'll get the polish smeared around. See, you can almost stop it. I'll get the polish smeared around on it. And then I'll start speeding it up. And I will polish with my polish wheel till it disappears. You know, say I'm on a brass tail, okay, if you keep going, finally it's going to come off. It's going to get into the wheel, it's going to disappear. And then I'll wipe it off with a rag, and I'll take my fluffy one to it. So, yeah, this has been really nice. Because I broke my cable. Those cables are $40 or $20 for a cheap one. And I thought, well, let's buy this for $20 just for polishing. Because that is a beast. You figure I'm putting 1.5-inch cutter discs that I ordered, and they only come in those kits like 1.25-inch discs. That is a beast. That's where I told you I locked the speed on it. See that little wooden wedges? I use my Variac because the dang thing wouldn't stay on high. It kept clicking off all the time. So I have an assortment of. So at least this winter I got everything, and that's the box for this. I've got up to where next winter, whatever I do for hobby stuff, I'd like to build a few model cars, but you know what I'd like to build? Somebody tell me the scale if you're into it. You know, model cars like 1/24th, 1/25th scale, they're what, about this long? I want to build one of them models that are like this. They're like a foot and about that wide. No, not quite. I want to build something like that. And while I'm thinking of it, any of you old guys, you know little airplane engines? You know what I mean. You start with a glow plug, gas-powered airplane. My brother had a car, okay, a red 55 Chevy body, and it laid on the porch forever and ever. And I always wanted to just make a model car out of it. He goes, no, it's worth too much. And this would have been like late 60s, very early 70s. Because he graduated in 1973. So, you're talking late 60s, very early. So, a 55 Chevy body for one of them little gas-powered cars. And it was in mint condition almost. No cracks, no breaks. So, almost mint, a few scratches on the body that could have been taken care of and painted. So, imagine having that now. Get on eBay and see if you can find one. A 55 Chevy body for one of them antique RC cars. I think it's in the UK. They got the ones on the string. They race. So it's tether car. It goes around in circles and they race it. It's on a string. Well, my brother had an airplane like that, okay, before remote control. And it was a biplane. I remember it was blue with yellow wings. And it was on a string, okay. Heavy duty fishing string. And he'd get out in the middle of the street and he'd get that thing out, and he'd have like 30, 40 feet of string out. This thing is flying around our heads, full speed, and the string snapped. And that thing went up to the top. It was like an elm tree. Where I come from, an elm tree could be like my walnut tree. It could be 60-some feet tall. That thing went up there and smashed into that tree, and here it was stuck in the top of that tree. And I ain't kidding you, we thought, well, that's the end of that. Well, about half hour later, with the wind blowing, it finally fell down. I don't know what it broke, but just think, it could have stayed up there for years. But I got such a kick out of that when I was little. Watching that thing go around on that string there, and I'm standing by my brother. I'm standing where it's safe. I'll pause and tell you another story, because I want to draw a picture of the boomerang he had when we were kids. Okay, does anybody remember the lawn darts with the steel tips and they outlawed them? Well, we had a set of them, okay? My older brother bought them, and we played responsibly with a little ring. Well, his friend comes over, and I ain't kidding you, his friend was exactly like Eddie Haskell on Leave It to Beaver. Smart ass, yeah, I said a bad word. Obnoxious, and I didn't back down from him because I know my brother would have slugged him. My brother will slug you. He took one of them lawn darts and threw it straight up in the air, okay? I remember it was on the driveway. And I dived in, and I remember because my mom had a Maverick. I dived into my mom's Maverick like I was in war. I hit that concrete driveway and rolled under that car as quick as I seen him throw it. I'm not going to stand there and be stupid, okay? Well, Mom found out and took them away. They laid on the porch and rotted for years. Okay, my brother had a plastic boomerang that was over a foot in diameter. And this is the best way I can describe it. That's why I put it. It was like an airplane wing. So it's thicker up here, right? If you look at the edge, and thinner down here like a fan blade. Now, it looks like them big industrial white three-bladed fans, how they're made. And it was an angled tip. Sort of angled, maybe not this much. I would say maybe it was a little square. If I remember right now. Yeah, let's say it was square. Let's say it was squared, okay? Now, we went up to the school. They had the football field at the end of the school, right? Schoolyard. So that's how big a schoolyard it was. And my brother threw that thing, and I stood behind him. Because that thing went out way up, and it actually did come back. It come back with like 20 feet up and 30 feet. It would actually come almost back to where he was at. He got used to throwing it. And I ain't kidding you. When he threw that thing, I stood behind him. There was no way I was going to stand there with this airplane propeller flying back at me. So every time I can do this. Every time I hear, if you're with me, you know the song. Look it up on YouTube. My boomerang won't come back. My boomerang won't come back. Yeah, look up the song. That'll put a smile on your face. Listen to that. But it was kind of rounded in the middle. I don't know if it was rounded in the middle. I think it came out like this. It's probably molded, you know, instead of being completely round. It might even been dipped or something like that. It's hard to remember, and I haven't looked for one. So, if you ever see something like that, get it, go throw it. Oh, cheap at the Dollar Tree. There's foil in there because I had the wrong size battery in it, but this is such a neat thing for $1. And look, I put foil on the back, okay? The batteries are worn out. This is so neat for $1. Like at the drill press or the lathe, probably bought that other one, that it's not much light left in it. I bought this for my drill press till I got the other one for $1. I mean, you can throw it away when you're done with it. You can buy 2 of them. But I had some batteries. You can get them Carter batteries at the HF store. I'm starting to abbreviate now. Capital HF. You can see there's aluminum foil in there because the batteries are too thin. It's worth it. It's only $1. It's a book reading or what's called a book reading lamp used on your laptop. There you go. Tip of the day. My drill press. You know, I'm up here and it's hard to see something small. So I plan on getting another one. Because I don't have no more batteries. I plan on getting another one. Because the magnetic base ain't going to work. This thing's all aluminum. So I've thought about maybe up in here and bring it around, you know, or bring it over to this side like that. You know, you want to get in here close. So I'm going to pick up a couple more of them someday. Okay, let's pause. We're about done. We're about ready to go put this in the computer, get it done, then come back on and play the rest of the day and build some project. I said, I'm out in shorts and a t-shirt. This heater just came on, and it'll cook you. Because I got it set for like 74, so at 73 it comes on, shuts off at 76. So 1 degree down it comes on, 2 degrees up it shuts off. So it's already stopped. I mean, that's hot. Let me take a break. Okay, your last tips and tricks, and we're gone for the week. Don't pass these up. This could be in the actual Dollar General dollar store. Look at that. 3/8 by 16. Making ink pens, adding wood to your screwdriver project. These are only probably a couple bucks. And how many is in there? 8 piece? There's 2 of each one. Don't pass these up. And they take stain fairly well. I mean, it's whatever cheap wood. So, I don't know. You don't know where they're made, but I'm trying to think what the company could be. Art Skills. Gonna pause on that. Here, you can do this. There you go. Hey, thanks for watching this week. We're out of here. It's so nice and warm out of the shop, we've got to think of something to work on.